Still in the area above Rock Cut on the Trail Ridge Road, and examination here of the gorge lakes and also the eroded granitic highland, which makes up much of Rocky Mountain National Park. It's not unlike what you see in the Mount Evans wilderness, but up here there's a lot more of it, and it seems to be a lot more varied. So I think what's really important is to show you that this area is a heavily glaciated granitic highland. Taking a look on the right hand side, you can see the gentle slopes of Mount Ida. In the middle you have the more rugged conditions of the gorge lakes, where there's several small ice fields remaining. The pointed mountain on the left side is Mount Julian, and off to the left of it is the flatter Teratoma Mountain. Teratoma is part of the remnant of what used to be the granitic highland here before all this devastation took place in this area. So as you can see, it looks kind of grassy and kind of gently sloped, nothing really too exciting there. But again, if you look at the sides of it, where it was glaciated, the glaciation was very intense indeed. Look a little bit further to the southeast towards Stones Peak, which is off in the distance. Again, you see the same thing. And just to the right of Stones Peak, you can probably see a projection called Hayden Spire. Let's see if I can get that one in there. Yes, sir, there it is, just off on the right center. Hayden Spire. Once again, Stones Peak. And again, this granitic highland, that's been heavily glaciated, extends all the way over to Longs Peak. Look at Longs Peak off there in the distance one more time. You can see that the summit is flat and broad. Again, an expression of the heavily eroded granitic highland that exists pretty much everywhere along the Front Range in this part of Rocky Mountain National Park. You also see this again, repeating myself on the Mount Evans Wilderness, but in this area here, the topography is much more varied, much more impressive, and indeed very spectacular. Taking one last look at some of these interesting rock formations around here. Let's swing our camera back over towards these outcrops that we just saw at the previous stop, and now we have some more here. Looks like somebody's having a nice time on top of that pedestal. Let's swing right over here and take a look at this one. Here you see a contact between the underlying granite, which is similar to what you see on the high peaks around here, and the overlying schist. The schist, again, is a product of several processes. Number one, deposition of sedimentary materials during the flood, which accumulated in this area, and later, when the great uplift occurred, we see a metamorphism taking place. The rock was metamorphosed from a from a shale into a slate or a schist. Even in some cases, there was higher grade metamorphism around here, but this is about it. Again, you see some of the structures of the bedding planes from the original shale that existed one time on the ocean floor. Once again, the area was subject to incredible uplift from an oceanic condition all the way to what we see today, many thousands of feet above sea level. So as I close out this stop here, I just want to remind people that when God said he was going to judge the planet in Genesis chapter 7, which he did, beginning with verse 11, he meant exactly what he said. The fountains of the great deep broke up, the windows of heaven were open, and a tremendous deluge occurred in which thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of cubic miles of sediment were moved around and deposited in various places. And so we've seen that here. We also see later on the effects of an ice age that occurred sometime after the flood. Glaciers, for the most part, are gone. There are remnant ice fields all over Rocky Mountain National Park, especially on the east side of the Continental Divide. As again, we see over here at Gorge Lakes. The white patches you see up there are very probably ice fields covered by snow, and again, they're very small. And some people say, well, what happened to the glaciers? Maybe we'll answer that question at the next stop. At the Forest Canyon Overlook, we will see more magnificent expressions of glaciation there. So bear with me, or bear with us as we proceed ahead to the next stop in Rocky Mountain National Park. Good day.